It is incredibly, incredibly difficult to predict the movement of any financial instrument, altcoins included. And there are very, very bright people with PhDs and all kinds of advanced degrees, way smarter than myself and probably Alex Becker, that work on predicting this. So when I saw this video here, how I spot 10x altcoins first, easy and repeatable, I wanted to see what was up with this, because if I can spot 10x altcoins first and it's easy and repeatable and profitable, well, fuck, I can just print money. Now, here's the thing. There's a really, really easy method to spotting 10x altcoins, or at least predicting them. And that is simply predict that every altcoin is going to 10x, right? And certainly you're going to have some winners, and then you're going to have some losers. So to actually be profitable with it, you have to have a system. And either A, you have to avoid all of the altcoins that are just going to decline and only catch the winners, right? And have a very high win rate. Or B, you have to have a quantitative method for getting off when these coins are just simply losers, right? If you get invested, you have to have an exit point or you have to have an exit point established for when you're going to kind of get off the boat and say, all right, I invested in a loser, I'm going to cut my losses and move on. All right, so anyways, Alex Becker has this video, how I spot 10x altcoins first, easy and repeatable. I want to see what this is. I want to see if this really has some substance. Is it robust, as we would say in the quantitative finance world? Does it work across multiple platforms? I would say market classes or asset classes in the equity world, but multiple platforms in multiple series of times. So I haven't watched this video. I'm going to click the play button on it here and go through it and drop in my anecdotes and comments and kind of test some things out as we're going through. Let's see what Alex Becker has on this system for spotting 10x altcoins.
Look, guys, you're always asking me, Alex, how do you find such
I've got the wrong headphones on.
Juicy, late night, dirty, take home your mother, she kicks you out of the house, tells you don't bring that disgusting piece of thing ever in this house again, kind of altcoin. You know that altcoin that does those nasty,
so we're going for the shit cap
300%,
altcoins.
500%, then loses all your money like a nice 2 a.m. altcoin should. Those kind of altcoins. Look, guys, I got to come clean.
Let's see if we can skip the score.
Don't have control of the market, the understanding that I do. I wanted to give you, for example, if an altcoin goes up and you buy that pump or you exit then, or you buy a altcoin when it's low, it's going to take the market's attention rediscovering this altcoin and then seeing it and then everybody deciding to FOMO into it. This can make altcoins really hit and miss. Really hit and miss, because they'll have these low periods where nothing happens, and it's very unpredictable when they're going to pump. And so number one question I always get asked is, Alex, how do you predict the pumps? I don't know. Really, the best way you can predict microcap pumps is
we can't predict
when
the pumps,
big caps
but you can spot
blown
10x
up,
altcoins.
then goes to the middle caps, then goes to the top 100, and then rolls down to the microcaps, and then we have a big old altcoin season. I don't like that, though, because there's always a good chance that your microcap gets missed. Okay, so while I'm still holding a lot of my microcaps, I've been transitioning a lot into this strategy, which is working a lot better for me. Look, we have to think.
I'm ready for it.
What is guaranteed to happen in this market if it keeps going up? What is guaranteed to happen in this market is big projects that have potential are going to keep going up, specifically these smart contract projects. We're looking at AVAX, we're looking at Solana, we're looking at DOT, we're looking at Cardano, we're looking at Harmony One. These bad boys are just going to keep going up. And the best thing to look at, I think, when it comes to how the market's...
No, it's not necessarily true. I got to kind of cut in there, right? These projects are going to just keep going up. Well, there's a lot of projects that happened, back in the dot-com bubble, a lot of internet projects, which was the cutting edge tech at the time, that, were good projects, but they just didn't keep going up. They crashed.
Behave with in terms of these is looking at Binance Smart Chain or Binance Coin. Okay? So, for example, let's pull up the charts real quick before I explain.
Binance Coin.
This thought process has done very well for me. Again, I cannot guarantee when altcoins are going to go up, when they're going to go down. This is a general thinking
nobody can guarantee
exercise, not just buy this coin. Okay. Another thing I want to add right here too is whenever people buy coins that I talk about, a lot of times they go up, sometimes they'll go down, and people keep pegging me, what's going on with this coin? What's going on with this coin? Why is this not pumping? If you do not know why the coin you're buying will pump, or why it will dump, or why it's not going up, or why it's going down, if you can't explain that to yourself, why in name are you buying altcoins? And if you don't know, and if you can't make the judgment call when to exit a coin or enter a coin, you can't look at the charts and you don't know if you can't say, okay, the thing is down and it hasn't pumped yet. Or you can't say the thing is pumped and if I buy now, I'm taking risk. Or when it's pumped, you can't clearly say when you should exit or not. Why in name are you buying altcoins? Okay. So just first and foremost, if you ever buy anything I talk about on this channel and you don't have the confidence of knowing when the X or not, you think I'm going to hold your hand like your mom, eat my all right.
Hold up, bro. I thought you were the fucking guru. I thought you were going to be able to tell us when to buy and sell an altcoin or something. But now we're supposed to know how to do that on our own? I mean, if that's the case, what makes this insight any better than just randomly picking a bunch of altcoins? Just saying.
I have no sympathy for you if you lose money at all. Understand it. I'm not like the other crypto YouTubers who I'm like, I want everyone to win. If you cannot look at things and make judgment calls and understand what they're doing, I have no empathy for you. Okay.
Well, I hope you're going to teach me something here other than just ranting on and saying basically how it's our fault if we don't make money and we don't know anything.
That being said, those of you that can do that, I love you. Thank you for watching. And if you don't have the
If we can't do that, we probably wouldn't be watching your fucking video.
abilities and you can't do that, and if you can't make those judgment calls, that's completely fine. It is so much better if you stick in the top 25. All right, it's so much better if you stick in those. That's my disclaimer in this video. Okay.
The top 25 are also
and if you
highly
want to start
volatile
doing the things I'm talking about in this video, don't be putting in 5-10% of your portfolio. Dabble with this stuff until you can get a good enough understanding of it to make your own judgment calls. Okay, so when people tag me on Twitter saying, what about this thing? You held it all the way down because you have no idea what you're doing. All right, I love you guys. Now, look, so that being said, let's start from the top. And we have to look at Binance Coin. So
okay, we're going to look at
Binance Coin, again, this thing went absolutely nuts. Now, was this easy to predict? Compared to picking microcap coins, yes. Okay, with how much people are using Binance Coin, with what it did with smart contracts, with how it fixed the gas fees, and the attention that Binance Coin is going to get overall, aka this thing wasn't going to go away, period. It was semi-easy to predict what Binance Coin was going to do, especially
I still want to know how we predicted it.
Pump. Okay, it was just going to keep going up. So what do I mean by easy? Of course, you cannot predict the pumps of these projects like the back of your hand. But if you were to put money in AVAX, Solana, Cardano, DOT, it's a pretty sure thing during this market with the complete desperate need for a smart contract system that works and how dominant the one that works is going to be, that all these projects are going to keep going up. And so you can pretty much bet the farm that these projects are going to go up. They're all going to get their day in the sun. They're all going to get a significant pump. At minimum, though, they're not going to go away. They're not going to just fall off a cliff. AVAX, Solana, Elrond, Harmony One, I'm just going to call the smart contract buddies, all right? The SCBs. They're all gonna pump if the bull run keeps going, and you can be pretty sure of that. Am I trying to say you should be just buying up these smart contract systems, these SCBs? Well, yeah. Honestly, the biggest, easiest gains in the marketplace are just owning AVAX, Solana, Harmony One, and I'm not going to name them all.
So buy SCBs.
They're relatively lower market caps than Ethereum, and they're just going to keep going up. Again, holding Cardano and DOT, same exact thing. They're just going to deliver better gains than Ethereum. That's all there is to it. And so it is a good idea to hold these things. But if we want to make those really big gains, those micro cap,
I want to make those really big gains.
I'm talking 200, 300, 500% gains. Well, we're not going to get those out of these, okay? If we buy Cardano right now, by the end of the bull run, we might see it go to $5 to $8.
Micro caps are probably going to get higher returns than the large caps.
Even if we bought Cardano at 70 cents, it's going to give us, a 500% gain. If we buy Solana right now, maybe Topsa will give us a 500% gain from this point going forward. So that is cool. Don't get me wrong. Those are amazing gains. But if we want to get these big 200, 300, 500% sudden gains, what we can do instead is avoid the biggest problem with microcaps while exposing ourselves to the chance for these 200, 500% gains. So let me point out the biggest problem with microcaps. Yep. So this is a product that I still love and I think it's going to have its day in the sun. Okay. It's going to have its day in the sun. However, it could not. Okay, so while I'm still a massive fan of chain games right here, you can see over the last 3 months, I got in right here, and then I exited chain games around 45 cents. So I was able to get a nice nearly 3x from this guy before I exited it. And then I bought it back down around here after it cratered and hit the bottom, and now it's just kind of just around here right now. So here's my biggest issue with this coin. Even though I love the project is great. It's phenomenal. If we look at a project like Blank, for example, really down right now, phenomenal project, massive potential. The problem with these type of coins, though, is this. You have to understand crypto has this radar of where the market's going to go. It's very hard to predict where this radar is going to hit. When people see a microcap they all really like, basically around the marketing, not really the project, they're all going to FOMO into it really quickly and it explodes. Okay, we saw that with Chain Games. We saw that with SPI, for example.
Typical.
The problem is once this radar gets past it, let's imagine this is the little radar beam, it's going to come back around, and in order for it to pump again, the market's going to have to rediscover it. Now, is that probably going to happen for projects like Chain Games and SPI? Totally. And long term, the projects are probably going to be huge because they're just going to be, they're going to hit adoption at some point. But if we're trying to make these 200, 500% gains, the next time this radar wave comes around, it could miss these projects. And we're basically at the mercy of the market. I don't want to say randomly discovering it, but influencers or marketing really hitting the project hard again and then it pumping. So this is kind of
okay, we still need to know a time period or something that they come back around to these projects.
And it's random, and we don't know if it's going to happen again.
All right, it's random. We don't know if it's going to happen.
We do
again.
know that.
So useless information so far.
Contract systems. We do know these things are going to consistently keep seeing their pumps. Okay, so if we go down and we can look at Binance Coin here in a second, but we know that AVAX is going to get a pump. Okay, Solana is going to get a pump. Okay, so I moved into this on Twitter. I talked about it yesterday. I got a big giant bag of yesterday just on this entire premise, and I bought a lot of sub coins underneath it on the premise I'm going to show you. It's doing very well right now. All right, we're up 25% in a single day. We know that Solana is going to get keep getting a pump for the rest of this bull run. Bull run keeps going on. Solana is going to keep going up. Polygon's going to keep going up. Theta is going to keep going up. Avalanche is going to keep going up. DOT and Cardano are going to be massive, massive things. We know these things are going to happen. So knowing these.
So let's just see if they really keep going up here. So let's just pull up Cardano. And when was this video taken? This video was done on May 16th. So it's been basically 7 months, I think, since that. Well, so yeah, May 16th to June 16th, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 7 months. Okay. My math is right. All right, so let's hit this back to a year. In May 16th, price was $2.03 to what is now $1.35. So it has lost about probably 43% of its value. Okay, so far Cardano has not just kept going up in this time period.
Are going to happen. What then also happens is exactly what happened on Binance Coin. This is how we can start actually getting these predictable microcap gains. And I'll show you how this works. So when
predictable
Binance
microcap gains, I like these.
Every microcap coin or smaller cap coin that was related to Binance Coin and deeply tied into its success pumped. So for example, if we go look at PancakeSwap, absolutely went nuclear.
Okay, so basically what he said is when a large coin goes up, the microcaps follow it. All right, so it's kind of like saying when an asset class or market goes up, the smaller stocks in that market go up much more.
Okay. Went insane. Okay, if we got in when Binance Coin started pumping, it was at $2. Now it's at $38.
How did we know when Binance Coin started pumping? That's incredibly crucial because if we look at Binance Coin, how do we get to the search function in this thing? Binance Coin, right? Binance Coin does some wild stuff. Does it start pumping when we get here? Does it start pumping when we get there? Is that a pump? Is this a pump? We still don't know what the fuck a pump is.
It's gone absolutely nuts, and the gains have been higher than Binance Coin. I'm not sure that's a 100% true statement, but this thinking process, that's going to be true most of the time. But if we go and look at QuickSwap on Polygon, okay, or quickly related to it, if we go and look at QuickSwap, went absolutely nuts when Polygon took off. And I think.
So what we need to know is is there a time delay between it? When do we get into it? How do we know when Polygon takes off? Polygon. I guess that's it. We'll set this back to a year. So Polygon takes off. I mean, let's go to quick swap. Let's go 1 year. All right, so this just seems weird. Maybe I've got the wrong charts here, but quick swap kind of pumped way earlier than Polygon did, right? Are these all on 1 years? That's 1 year, that's 1 year. So quick swap started popping, kind of pumping right towards the end of April. Yeah, quick swap was pumped up first. All right, let's just go back to this here.
It's probably about to have another big leg up. I'm not saying buy quick, but I'm just saying when the smart contract systems pump, which they're going to do, you can predict that that's likely going to happen. The microcaps that are closely related to them always pump. Right? These are going to be the Oracles, the DEXs, the NFT platforms. For example, Refinable, the NFT platform on Binance Coin or Binance Chain, went absolutely nuts. And so the theory that I'm throwing at you right now is that when these projects go up, their sub counterparts are going to go up with much larger gains. So a really good example of this recently, and that I pulled off, was Polkadot. I knew it was going to go up with the event.
How did you know it was going to go up? Right? Because I mean, what if you let's pull up Polkadot here. We can look at the charts. Did you know it was going to go up, right here? Did you know it was going to go up right there? You have to be able to know when it's going to go up with some type of quantitative metric. I guess you could do, not quantitative, but you could do some type of characteristic as well, fundamental. But these cryptos really don't have a fundamental analysis component.
Narrative with Ethereum's gas fees getting out of control. Polkadot went up to $50. So what happened as soon as that happened? Well, first off, its smaller project underneath it, Kusama.
And the other thing too is, how did we pick Kusama? Like, how many other smaller projects are there underneath of Polkadot?
Went absolutely nuts. Okay, it went up to $600. Went insane from nearly.
So let's just pull up Polkadot here and compare it to Kusama. How do you spell that one? Q-K-Q-U-S-A-M-A. Q-U-S-A-M-A. Kusama. So there's Kusama. We're going back over the last year. Let's just kind of rewind this here and see what he says about it again.
So a really good example of this recently, and that I pulled off, was Polkadot. I knew it was going to go up with the event coming up on the 19th,
right,
with the narrative with Ethereum's gas fees getting out of control. Polkadot went up to $50. So what happened as soon as that happened?
So Polkadot goes up to $50, and he was recording this in like May 16th. So I guess somewhere around here from the 24th of April. And yeah, indeed it did go up. But Kusama, from the 24th or so only went up to, basically, interestingly, the high point the day he was recording this. It only went up about 20%. Is that right? From 400 to 600, went up about 30%. Or yeah, about doubled, actually. So it went up about 100%. All right, so there's a good gain there. But what happened, in this one from the 24th to the 16th? So it went to about $38 down here. So it did go up more. But the thing is how did we know to get out of it on the 16th?
First off, its smaller project underneath it, Kusama, went absolutely nuts. Okay.
Another thing too is, how would you know to have gotten into Polkadot here on the 24th? I mean, like really, like it's all the way at the bottom. It could keep going down. That would be like saying get into Polkadot right here on the 18th. Well, shit, it's really low, but then it just goes down lower.
Went up to $600. Went insane from nearly $335 to $600. And this is my third biggest hold behind DOT. So this was awesome. But what else happened as soon as this happened? PDEX. Okay? PDEX, as soon as Polkadot started pumping, what did PDEX do? This thing
again. If we're going to get into Polkadot here, when it starts pumping on the 24th, the 24th, how did we know that was when it was going to start pumping?
Nuts. It went absolutely nuts. And the gains that we were able to see on it were much higher than the gains on Kusama or Polkadot. But the thing is, what we need to understand, Polkadot's going to pump. Therefore, the microcaps underneath it that are closely related to it, that are similar to the pancake swaps, the NFT platforms, they're going to pump. And we're going to see larger pumps from them than we're going to see in Polkadot, which is a neat little hack, because if Polkadot pumps, which it's going to be.
Okay, so I guess really what he's saying is follow the news and try to come up with some type of method in your mind for identifying when, one of these larger coins or projects is going to pump, and then go into the coins that are, the microcap coins that are built on that same project. But, we've seen Kusama here and we've seen Polkadex. Are there any other coins under Polkadot that, we could look at? So I went ahead and found this top Polkadot ecosystem tokens by market cap. So I guess rather than calling them part of a market as you would in the stock market or part of an index, we're calling them part of an ecosystem, right? And here they all are. So I went ahead and just open up a few of them at random here. ANKR, OX, and Ontology. And interestingly enough, they all do follow Polkadot's behavior here on the 24th, right? So what about if we just go back to Polkadot here and we look at it over the course of a year, right? Like let's just say, from 7/19 onward, these things had a pretty big bull run. Kusama basically followed the Polkadot. ANKR has kind of followed the Polkadot. What is this thing? OX has semi-followed the Polkadot, but I think Polkadot might be up. Yeah, Polkadot has gone up from about 15 to, or about 12 to 30, so to 28. So Polkadot's more than doubled, whereas this one right here going from 54 cents to 90 or 91 cents, it's not really doing much, or not doing as much. This one here also not doing as much. So, in the short term, it does seem like they spike with their underlying market or their underlying coin. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. They spike with their underlying ecosystem, but over the long term, they kind of do things differently. Let's go back to Alex Owen.
We can almost guarantee our microcaps are going to pump. Again, this isn't always going to be the case, but if we go look at something like, so what happened on DOT when it originally pumped? What happened on BSC? The Launchpad platforms exploded. So let's look at the 3 months on CardStarter. This is the launch platform on Cardano. About this time frame is when Cardano started this pump really hard, and the narrative for it coming and killing Ethereum and Goguen coming up and the testnet going live, these all things started to come into play. So again, I totally missed this one. This is before I started executing this strategy. So what then happened? Obvious that if Cardano keeps going up, its ecosystem is going to go up. Easy one to grab. Okay. One I was able to really take advantage of using this theory right here was its Oracle, Charlie 3. Okay, I got in down here, but bam. Because again, if the main coin is pumping, the sub projects that are closely related to it are going to pump. And people really miss these things. They sleep on them. They sleep on them because they're not even really aware that Cardano is going to pump yet. As soon as Cardano started getting its momentum, Charlie 3 went insane. And so, another beautiful example of this. Again, I want to show you this happening in real time right now. So I got into Solana literally yesterday, up 25%, but what's happening with its DEX? We go look at Serum. Okay, it's not giving the same, from where it was yesterday to where it is now, things pumping. The things pump in groups, and the groups underneath them are going to deliver those microcap like gains that we're looking for in our microcaps, the big sudden 2-3x's, without the randomness of us waiting for the market to discover them. So a good example.
So yeah, so the principle here is true, right? These microcaps do tend to go up with their underlying, I want to say indexes, I'm so used to talking about equities, with their underlying coin or project or whatever. But the thing is how do we know when that, project is going to go up? How do we know when Polkadot is going to go up, right? I mean, what if you got into Polkadot, the day he was making this video? Well, now you've basically lost money. Okay, are you seeing that?
Another one, Harmony One, which I missed out on literally yesterday morning, okay, before it went absolutely ham and pumped super hard, okay, went up almost 50%. This is when I was looking at it right here. I literally bought my first pretty large bag of it, and it's not nearly
Alex,
as much as I
genius.
wanted to get in. I just said, okay, I'll go take lunch real quick, and I learned the smart contract system and everything, and then pow. Because I knew the narrative after Cardano and Dotted pumped. I knew that Solana and Harmony were going to pump again, okay, like they did in the last bunch of days. The narrative was just going to go in that direction. So I was able to get a massive bag of Solana, but I totally missed out on Harmony One. So I'm really bummed about it. But that being said, look, we just saw a big old 50% pump. Now, if we go look at the DEX on it, we didn't see just a 50% pump. We saw a 100% pump on this dude right here. Okay, we saw a 100% pump. So if we believe that Harmony One is going to pump, and I believe it's going to keep pumping, I'm probably about to buy another big bag of Harmony One.
I wonder how Harmony One has done since this video was made. That was 516, and Alex Becker believes it's going to keep pumping. Right there. It definitely did not keep pumping. It had a drawdown, then it had a nice long pump. And, well, now it's came back up to, what is it now, 1844, 1759. So you basically just broke even on this thing if you bought it, when Alex Becker said he was going to buy it.
Monkey swap right here, and if we wanted to be coy, we could say, well, look, if Harmony One pumps, which I believe it's going to do, you can say with pretty good reliability that if the bull run keeps going, Harmony One's going to keep going up in multiples. So if we want to be coy, we could say, well, knowing that, it's going to cause Monkey swap to pump, and we can get better gains in Monkey swap, so we can technically take advantage of the Harmony One pumps by getting into Monkey swap. That's the entire premise of all this. So the altcoin investing strategy that you want to look at is you want to look at what big coins, what big tokens are going to pump. And if they pump, what things underneath them are closely related. So for example, we see XRP right here. We can probably think this guy's that's gonna win its case. So we can look at things that are super related to XRP, like the Flare network. Ooh. Okay, and then what are the things underneath the Flare network? I don't know. I haven't done much research here. Okay? But again, when we look at these things, let's give another example right here. When we're looking at a smart contract system, there's always going to be the same things on every single system. We're going to see the NFT platform. We're going to see the Oracle. We're going to see the Swapper. We're going to see the DEX. We're going to see the launch pads. We're going to see these same beasts on every single one. We're going to see the wallets. And the really cool thing about this is you can easily spot these things way ahead of time because we know what the smart contract systems are. They're not hard to find. And so all you have to do is then look at the smart contract system and say what's going on underneath it. So for example, like the Cardano ecosystem right now, the Jera wallet that's coming out. Nobody really knows what it is. It's getting a little bit of traction, but nobody really knows what it is. Or the DEXs that are coming out on them. Like, for example, Polkadex that I mentioned when DOT started pumping, pretty low market cap. Nobody really was looking at that. Everybody was looking at Kusama and DOT. Well, if those pump, then the smaller market caps are going to pump. And the hard part about investing in microcaps is there's literally thousands and thousands of them. And so if you're not, it's really hard to predict where the radar of the market is going to be. You have to just pick this microcap and hope that the market randomly stumbles upon it. Well, if a big cap pumps, its smaller projects are going to get that attention. And because they're small projects with low microcaps, they're going to pop the F off. And so the biggest downfall with investing in microcaps is that the radar of the market might not find them, and there's so many of them that it's hard to pick. Whereas, and you have to really dig to find these ones, and then the market radar has to hit, and the marketing has to hit. It's hard. It's unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. Whereas we can predict big coins pumping, and then we can predict their microcaps that are closely related to them that are being slept on.
We have not had
they haven't been discovered yet.
In this video, we have not had any insight into how to predict big coins pumping. And quite frankly, I don't believe there is any quantifiable or statistically significant positive, any system that, you know, promotes or would deliver a positive prediction with statistical significance on when large coins are going to pump.
Looking underneath the big ones, we can predict those ones are going to go nuts. Okay. So my advice for you.
All right, I'm going to cut it right there. So let's just kind of break this down here and see what we can take away. Yes, the microcaps underneath of a larger coin or project will, you know, go up or down exponentially with it. But fundamentally, this video really doesn't give us any type of system, you know, that we could actually use with success, statistical success in live trading, right? We've got just a bunch of kind of anecdotal information here, but nothing that kind of pulls everything together. To really pull things together, we need a system for identifying when these things are going to pump, as Alex Becker says, but that's quite frankly difficult. I mean, you look at these things, Polkadot, right? You know, did we have a pump here? Well, maybe, you know, but it went up. Now you got to get off or you're going to go down, right? What if you're like, all right, here's the pump. Well, now it goes down. Here's the pump. Okay, well, you still got a long, prolonged drawdown. And in this period of time here, which is probably about 8 months now, it's December 9th or 10th right now. In this period, a lot of these smaller projects that kind of fit into the ecosystem can go to zero, right? Like that is not far-fetched, or maybe not go to zero, but go to like 0.000001 and effectively round to zero. So, you know, no, I don't see any profitability here or actual statistical success or, you know, a statistically significant representation of success in this information put out here by Alex Becker. Basically, just a bunch of anecdotal information that's kind of cool and you might have some substance behind it, but it really needs more research and quantitative method to be put into an actual live and profitable trading system. So guys, let me know what you think about this insight that I just shared with you here. Do you agree with me? Or are you going to go out there and start buying a bunch of microcaps based on when you think it's a pump? Let me know in the comments below, guys.